A very good morning to all of you. I think it's a wonderful day outside also, and we have a tremendous panel here to discuss education in India, policy and practices. And thereafter, a panel discussion with very eminent guests from Bhutan, Jordan, also with us. So let me formally welcome Mrs. Vibha Daspuri, Secretary, Department of Higher Education, Ministry of HRD, Government of India, who will deliver the keynote address. I also take the opportunity to welcome the panelists, Mr. Limpo Thakur S. Paudel, Honorable Minister of Education, Ministry of Education, Royal Government of Bhutan, Dr. Naren Jadhav, Member Planning Commission and Member National Advisory Council, Government of India, Professor V.N. Rajshekharan Pillai, Vice Chancellor, Indira Gandhi National Open University, who will be the moderator for this session, or the session after this, is it? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends from the media, and members of various institutions. It is a proud privilege for me personally and for the PhD Chamber to be associated with this prestigious international event in the field of education. The importance of education in modern society and in India cannot be overemphasized. It is a potent and powerful tool for empowering people to lead a life of dignity and self-respect. It is also essential in this new world for India and other countries to achieve a sustained high economic growth. We live in an age where human knowledge is increasing exponentially, and countries have to make serious efforts to remain on the frontiers of knowledge. The subject of this panel assumes special importance in the current context, as there is a lot of optimism about the policy reforms in the education sector in India. Education has come to the center of national governance agenda and has attracted the attention it always had deserved. The key to success lies in creating the right policy framework and operating environment for attracting large investments into the sector so as to bring about an improvement in opportunities for education as well as raise the education standards. It is commendable that the Government of India has taken major initiatives in academic and institutional reforms in higher education sector in the recent past. This marks a paradigm shift in the development of higher education. A National Commission for Higher Education and Research is being established as an apex body for determination, coordination, and maintenance of standards and promotion of higher education and research. There are 4 bills which are going to be discussed in the Parliament during this session, which have already been introduced, and it is going to be important to see how they are debated and finally how we see them come in the form which will be on the implementation stage. It is expected that public policy in higher education should encourage diversity, varied forms of provision and quality comparisons between various institutions in the higher education. Reforms in education ought to enable our human resource become more employable as also to bridge the skills deficit. We in the industry provide 2 opportunities actually. When we say industry, it is business and industry in manufacturing, services and all others. 2 major opportunities are there. One, of course, as we are all aware of, which is the employment opportunity. And we normally, when we talk about job opportunities, we look at only employment. In India especially, and in the past, if you have seen, India offers huge potential for entrepreneurship also. In fact, there is amazing kind of entrepreneurship you see from in all stratas of our society. And that also is necessary to be built into our education system, how to make people think entrepreneurially. In higher education, over the last couple of decades, we see that there is this mindset of job employment only and not entrepreneurship. Maybe some direction there could be given, or that is a point of debate. The entire regulatory arrangement has to be evolved keeping in mind the increasing professionalism in various occupations. The government has to play a steering role in higher education that focuses on policy outcomes and tries to structure the market to ensure that those outcomes are met. As we are all in the last couple of years, we are talking about this demographic dividend. In north of India, where our chamber works, we work in almost 10 states of North India and covers almost 50% of the Indian population. This is going to be younger than the western and southern India. So there is a huge challenge for this part of India to keep our youth engaged, both in terms of education and after education, what are we going to do with them? Because there may not be so many jobs available for the number of youth which are going to come into the market in the next 10 to 15 years. It is being increasingly realized that with the resource constraints, it is not possible, both with the union and state governments, to provide financial support for the expansion of higher education. And that's why government is actively working in all areas in the PPP model, which we call private-public partnership model. And here comes then the regulatory framework, which has to be robust so that it can manage this huge decentralization which has to take place in the education sector, where education will actually be implemented on the ground. One of the things in our couple of studies we've done, we found that the regional colleges and regional institutions are more innovative in their management. They are very innovative in the way they deliver their pedagogy as compared to the central and even large institutions like IIT and IIMs. Now something from there to learn, something to learn from the new private initiatives which have come. I'm not saying all private have come and reached their level of excellence. There's a long way to go, in fact, in the private education. There is need to evolve an appropriate policy framework for facilitating greater flow of private investments in education sector, including removal of entry barriers and simplify procedures for affiliations. I think this needs a lot of thought, how to make it simplified and yet robust. Simplification does not mean anyone can get it. Simplification means the process has to be simplified, but the implementation, how you implement that process, has to be robust. And this is where, as a country, we need to actually gear up. I think there is a lot we will hear from very eminent panelists here, and I once again would like to thank you, all of you, to come early in the morning for a 9:30 session, and welcome you all, and we hope for a great success of this session and this seminar and global summit. Thank you.